Hello everyone and welcome back to another race day preview for Sydney on a Friday night live stream. I'm down on the floor at the moment. It's not the best spot, but I've got a green screen behind me that hopefully can make me up in the top right and resemble the background. Um, Sorry I'm late for the live stream. It's meant to be starting at 6:30. It's 6:35. I just couldn't believe the news about Giga Kick. If anyone has not seen that, then go check that out because that is absolutely controversial. I feel so sorry for Craig Williams because I don't believe that he did much wrong on Saturday. It wasn't one of his best rides, but it definitely wasn't a sack ride off a horse that you've won an Everest and two Group 1s on, 5 from 8 on the horse in races. So I'm just flabbergasted by that decision. But who knows? J-Mac might come out and win 2 or 3 on it. But that's not why we're here. We're here to preview Randwick, and we're going to preview races 5 till 10 because race 5 is a Group 3 race. All the way through to race 10 are all really good races. So we'll start with race 5. It is the Group 3 Kingston Town Stakes. The James Squire Kingston Town Stakes over the 2,000 metres. And the past 3 winners of this race have been Allegron last year, She's Ideal, and also Taika Mochi the year before that. What have they had in common? So they've all settled no worse than midfield. They've all been either midfield to on speed. 2 of the 3, which was Allegron and She's Ideal, both come through the Chelmsford last start, and I've put in brackets there settle closer, so it'll settle closer than what it did in the Chelmsford, and also weight drop, so a bit of a weight drop from the Chelmsford to the Kingston Town and drawn inside, so all the past winners have drawn a low barrier. So there wasn't a horse that really fit the bill. If anything, Montefilia. This horse is drawn gate 3. It's drawn inside. It's come through the Chelmsford last start where it ran pretty well. Draws a gate now that it can settle closer. But it doesn't get a weight drop. It just stays at the same weight of 57 kilos. The favourite in the race, Just Fine, could absolutely blow them away. But I think Montefilia represents good value, if anything, in this race. Back Major Bill for the Metropolitan if you haven't already, because this horse I reckon is going to win the Metropolitan. It might not win on Saturday, tomorrow, in the Kingston Town, but it'll definitely, I think, run really well in the Metropolitan and could win. So that's race 5, the Kingston Town. I should have gone to the form to do this, but Montefilia, as I said, run in the Chelmsford last start, started a good SP with J-Mac in the saddle, and did really well to finish 2 lengths behind Navajo Peak. Now, well, it's drawn gate 3 again, but it can potentially settle closer this start, now 3rd up. And yeah, I think it represents good value compared to the favourite Just Fine. As we move on to race 6, it is the Darley T Rose Stakes. This is for the 3-year-old fillies at Group 2 level over the 1,400 metres. A race where there's been the same horses contesting against each other in the lead-up races. We'll go to the little Google Slides presentation. So the T-Race, the past 3 winners of this race have been Zoo Gotcha last year, and that's obviously, as you can see in the picture, Madame Pomery, the 1,000 Guineas winner that was chasing it down. 4 moves ahead in 2021, and then Dame Giselle in 2020, and down there that was Dame Giselle, and that's the Nose of Hungry Heart, who turned out to be a very good horse. So this race has produced some good horses over the years. As we go to what they've had in common, so they've all been right in the market, so usually around the $5 mark or shorter, so the market's really found it. Midfield to on speed, so no worse than midfield. All the winners have settled, and usually in an on-speed role, and they all ran less than a length all ran less than a length to the finish in the Silver Shadow. So we'll go to who I think can win. Komochi fits the profile well, can settle closer within a length in the Silver Shadow, well respected by the market. I'll go to the form for this. Jason Collett rides this as well, as he does with Montefilia. So this horse resumed in the Silver Shadow, where it drew gate 10, got too far back. Flash Tone probably should have won, running in 3rd. And then in the Furious last start, gave Tis Invincible a bit of a start and couldn't run it down. Now it's drawn gate 5, so it can settle a little bit closer. It's well respected by the market. It's right in the market with Tis Invincible. What else did I have? Yeah, it was within a length in the Silver Shadow, so it should be running well. In terms of the favourite, Tis Invincible hasn't run in the Silver Shadow, but that might not be the be all and end all. It's the favourite for a reason. The horses that are right in the market usually win the T Rose, and this horse draws gate 2, so it'll settle close, and it'll be really hard to beat with Zach Lloyd in the saddle. So Tis Invincible can run really well, but Komochi is the one that I like based off the profiling. So that is the Group 2 T Rose. We'll move on now to race number 7. It's the Weight for Age 7 Stakes over the 1600 metres. It's not a Group 1, but it's oddly similar to the George Main Stakes, which has been run on this day for I don't know how long, but it's the same sort of setup as that. Weight for Age, 1600 metres, $1 million race. As we look at the last 3 winners of the George Main, Animo, Very Elegant, and Colding. All very good horses on their day, obviously. That was a Group 1. So what they've had in common, they've all been second to third up in their preparation. They've all been on speed, which is very noticeable in my opinion. All under $10 starting price at the jump. All under $10. So the market's sort of found it. It's had pretty good form. All ran in the Wink Stakes leading up, so the big Group 1 at the start of the spring. And they all ran in the Queen Elizabeth at the end of last preparation, if that makes sense. So Animo ran in the Queen Elizabeth as its last run in the prep before it came out and won the George Main, and Very Elegant and Colding did the same thing. So there wasn't one horse that did all those things this year, unfortunately. But if we look at the key chances, Fangirl will have to get back from the gate and give the key chances a head start, and I've put there not ideal because all the winners have been on speed. This horse draws gate 10 despite it winning the Wink Stakes from the back. This race says you might want to be on speed, and Fangirl's going to have to get back from the gate, and you're asked to take a short price about it, so I'm not sure. Zaki profiles really well, is second up. It settles on speed. But it's had a Queensland campaign instead of your natural Group 1 Sydney campaign. But that doesn't really matter. Hinged, question mark. I don't know if it's good enough to win, and its profile isn't as good as Zaki. Pericles has been in really good form, but this is its toughest test to date. It'll be on speed though, so it can win. And Think It Over is the other one that profiles really well. That's why I've got Think It Over and Zaki in the same photo. So Think It Over, should go to the form. That's why I've got this tab open. So Think It Over is third up, yes. Its last prep was in the Queen Elizabeth, but that was the 2022 edition, so I don't really count that. But if I did, this horse would exactly fit the bill and would be a really good play in the 7 stakes. But this horse has drawn gate 2, so it can settle a little bit closer in my opinion than what it has done in the Wink Stakes and the Chelmsford. Nash retains the ride. And yeah, it's just been in really good form and should be running well. The 9-year-old Zaki ran really well in the Wink Stakes on resumption. Draws gate 6, will be in an on-speed role and run really, really well. What did I do for the criteria again? Both those horses are under $10. Both those horses on speed. Both those horses second to third up. Both those horses have run in the Wink Stakes leading up. And none of them have run in the Queen Elizabeth at the end of last prep run. But Think It Over basically has. It's just not this year's, which I don't take into account. If I did, though, as I said, really good play. So keep an eye on Think It Over. It's probably, if I had to have one on top of the other, it'd probably be Think It Over on top of Zaki. As we move on now to race number 8, it is the Toyota Forklifts Shorts, or known as the Shorts. Set weights plus penalties, 1100 metres, Group 2 level. And we'll go to the little Google slides here. So the past 3 winners of this race have been Nature Strip, Eduardo, and Classic Legend. And yeah, very, very good horses. What they've had in common, they've all been right in the market, so usually $5 or shorter. They've all been first up off a May to June run. So May run usually in the Queensland Carnival, but Nature Strip came off a run in June last year, obviously for the King's Stand Stakes, so I had to put Maid of June in there. One of the top saddle cloths, so because it's set weights plus penalties, usually the horses with a higher rating are better suited because they're at the same weight, and that's shown with horses like Nature Strip and Eduardo and Classic Legend winning the past couple of editions or few editions of this race. They all ran, all the winners, Nature Strip, Eduardo and Classic Legend, all ran in the previous year's Everest and within a length in the shorts. So that's a very interesting stat, and we'll get to some of the key chances on the other slide. Right, Private Eye didn't run in last year's The Shorts, drawn to get back looking for further. So I think Private Eye, it's not right in the market either, it's $10. So I'm happy to look past Private Eye. Marzu, 3 lengths away in the shorts last year, not bad. It ran in the Everest, it had a run in May, it's first up. So it profiles well. The only thing it wasn't within a length in the shorts last start. It was 3 lengths away. Lost and Running last ran in April, so that isn't what the criteria is set for, and didn't run in last year's Everest, so again, failing the criteria there. Overpass, second behind Nature Strip in last year's The Shorts, was 1.3 lengths away, but it's Nature Strip, so it's basically within a length. Last run was in May in the Dubin 10,000, where it narrowly got defeated by Giga Kick. Should get an easy lead with it being the only natural leader in the race. In Secret, Buenos Noches and Remark have all had a run, so they immediately don't fit the criteria. So in my opinion, Overpass is a really, really good play in this race. And for the reasons I outlined, it fits the criteria really well as we go back to the criteria. It's right in the market. It's about $5.50 to $6 at the moment. It's first up, yes. It's coming off a Dooman 10,000 run in May, yes. It's one of the top saddle cloths, number 4, yes. Ran in last year's Everest, yes. Finished 2 lengths behind Giga Kick and was basically within 1 length in the shorts last year, yes. Fits the criteria for the shorts. The favourite In Secret, you're probably, well, I am anyway, taking on at the price compared to Overpass. So In Secret, yes, it's good, but it's had a run this campaign. Its last run before that was in April. Didn't run in the Everest last year or the shorts. So I don't think it fits the criteria very well compared to what Overpass does. Overpass, just from a normal form perspective, has had good jump outs leading in. Josh Parr goes back on, got a good affiliation with Derby Racing, does Josh Parr, and I think Overpass will be really hard to beat. I'm really excited to see it run, and I think it should be shorter in the market. So that's the shorts. Race 9 now is the Bill Ritchie Handicap, Group 3 level, 1,400 metres. Yeah, keep going. Alright, so the last 3 winners of this race have been Top Ranked in 2022, A Tissue in 2021, and the all-exciting Probabile in 2020. So what they've had in common, they've all been right in the market. This has been a common theme over the course of tonight. Right in market, $5 or shorter. On speed, they've all been in an on-speed roll. First to third up, so they're fresh/peaking, and drawn inside is very interesting to note as well. So you can see what I've got there, but the only 2 horses within $9 are Valencia and Converge. So I've just put looks to be out of Valencia and Converge for an on-top selection. Valencia draws to get back, draws gate 12. Has a light weight, but I just don't like the gate of gate number 12 for Valencia. Hold on. Yep, that looks to be coming through. Doesn't matter. Sorry, I'll get back to it. Valencia draws to get back. So I think Converge has a tactical advantage, can put itself in an on-speed role. As we take a look at its form, Top Ranked won this race with 59.5 last year, so I think Converge can do it with 59 this year. Doesn't necessarily draw in 8 of 17, but being a big field like that, it doesn't really matter. It gets into an on-speed role. It's shown last preparation that it's Group 1 class, Group 1 weight for age class, as it finished third, beaten only 0.4 lengths behind Animo in the George Ryder. So I think Converge can upset the favourite Valencia, and I think the market should be swapped around. Converge should be the favourite. Alencia close second favourite. That's how I'm reading the race based off the criteria. I reckon Converge looks really hard to beat. Also shows here, it was close behind Think About It and beat Rothfire in the Kingsford Smith Cup last preparation. So it'll be running really well. Converge. As we move on to the last race. Race number 10 is a benchmark 88 handicap over the 1200 metres. Now this race has only been going for 2 years, not 3, so I've only had to do the past 2 winners, which is Brigantine and Triple Ace. Now this race is very hard because it's a benchmark race and these criteria can be a bit skewed, but we'll see how we go. So there's a lot of criteria here, some of it useless, some of it well worth taking into account. So they've all drawn out, so that late in the day you probably want to draw out anyway. Racing interstate in its previous runs is a big one. Brigantine was racing in the Queensland Carnival before its win in this race last year, and Brigantine was racing in Melbourne and Triple Ace was racing in Queensland. I got those mixed up. That's interesting to note. Lightweight, so this is a bit of an iffy one. Not necessarily a lightweight. Triple Ace carried 57 and Brigantine carried 56. It's more of a no, not the top weights. If it's fit coming into this race, it profiles as a sprinter, and if it's fresh, it profiles as a miler. That's got to do with one horse I'll get to later. Quality jock. So the past 2 winners, as in jockeys of this race, have been James McDonald on Brigantine and Timmy Clark on Triple Ace. So you want to have a quality jock and also a 4-year-old. So coming into its 4-year-old season, campaign, year. Yeah. Now I haven't gotten anything here, but Prometo, Hell I Am, Sandpaper and Atmosphere are all ones to include in exotics, quaddies, trifectas, first fours, quinellas, whatever you want to do, because these horses profile along the lines of the criteria and they're at a big price. Yeah, and in regards to the hot pot favourite Kaboo, it can win, but in my opinion it's too short in a race over 1200 where actually, you know what, let's go back to the criteria because I need to see. So Kaboo's drawn in, not out. It's been racing in New South Wales, not interstate its previous runs. It's fresh, but I don't think it's a miler. I reckon it's sprinted a 1400 type, and that's the only reason I think it should be taken on at the price. In terms of the best winning chance, Kaboo definitely number 1, but I just think at the short price of $240, it's not worth it compared to some of the others that have come off, that are just at a big price, that have come off similar profiles to the criteria. So that's how I'm reading the last race, but it's wide open. Don't take my word for it. Alright, Stamina's final thoughts. The last bit of the live stream. So race 5, Montefilia, my on top selection, not with much confidence, and I put there Just Fine could blow them away. In race 6, Komochi to turn the tables on Tiz Invincible. Race 7, Think It Over, probably just ahead of Zaki in terms of on-top selections, but those two look hard to beat. Race 8, I'm very, very keen on Overpass to upset In Secret and any other horse that steps in its way. In race number 9, I think it's out of the 2 favourites, but Converge over Alencia for me. And then race 10, no idea, Kaboo too short, as we just said earlier. And out of those outsiders, I think Atmosphere represents the most value. I should say why about Atmosphere, to be honest. Atmosphere is about $23 for Godolphin. I'll just go down. So it's set in the criteria quality jock. Would you class Jon van Overmeer as up to the likes of your McDonald's, your Shins, your Rawillas, your Williams, even though he stuffed up on Giga Kick, but didn't deserve to get kicked off for James McDonald? I'm getting off track now, sorry. No, is my answer to the Jon van Overmeer. But it carries a lightweight. It's drawn gate 7, so it can get to about midfield or so. Isn't necessarily a miler, but from previous campaigns, you could say they could have tried it over a mile, but they chose not to. As I said, wide open race. I don't think Atmosphere is the best winning chance, but it's definitely an each way chance. Coming off its 3-year-old campaign, has been interstate its past couple of runs. I know we're getting to the end of the live stream. I've been talking for a while, but Atmosphere, $23, most value in the race. Bam. I'm not going to say any more. That's race 10. Derry Grove will win race 2. Those who follow my actual videos will know that I put this horse in the futures bets for the Kosciuszko, and this horse, based off last start, will just be winning race number 2 there in Sydney. And again, back Major Beale in the Metropolitan before it gets shorter after Saturday. If it wins, it's straight into favourite for the Metropolitan, in my opinion. If it runs second or third, it'll get shorter than what it is at the moment at $13. Hopefully I found you a winner. Last week we did, with NCAP and other horses getting up in races 6 to 10. So hopefully we can do it again tomorrow at Randwick. Overpass is my best from the ones we previewed. I'm very excited and keen on that horse. But until next week, which I don't know what the big race there is in Sydney next week. But until then, bye for now. And I've got to go all the way to the computer and turn the live stream off.